Hi, I'm Paul Darley, and thanks for tuning into our June issue of Inside Darley. I'll tell you, I'm just back from the Metro Chiefs Conference. That's a conference of the largest fire chiefs across America, North America, and many from around the world. And I always enjoy sitting in on these business sessions because of the excellent speakers. They had Jim Shannon, who's the president and CEO of the NFPA, and he talked about the NFPA's next big fight is on home residential sprinklers, so that'll be interesting to watch. Glenn Gaines talked about, on behalf of the U.S. Fire Administration, and really talked about how the U.S. Fire Service has progressed so significantly over the last 40 years. And he compared statistics from 1971 to 2010. A few areas, citizen deaths down from 9,000 to 3,100. Injuries down from 250,000 to 3,120. Firefighter deaths during 1971 at 259 and down to 72 in 2010. There was also a lot of talk on the D Block, that's the new public safety broadband network, and how to best capitalize on that great coup for the fire service and public safety in general. You know, some good news on the municipal end. Fifth Third Bank, Bob Sullivan, the president, just gave me a great article which we've attached for you here entitled State and Municipal Outlook. And the good news here is that state revenues and municipal revenues have increased 2 to 4% over the last 2 years. And that's the strongest increase that we've seen since 2006. Moody's is calling for very few municipal debt defaults this year. But long-term wise, the states and municipalities are still plagued with the pension and healthcare issues that are really spiraling out of control, and that's going to keep them from a fast rebound, but there is some good news here. Other good news out of Washington, D.C. on Tuesday, May 15th, the Senate Appropriations Committees went and approved $337.5 million for both the SAFER and the FIRE Act grant for the 2013 budget. So we're not out of the woods yet, but that's good news. And on the DHS front, it's a total of $1.4 billion is currently in the budget for 2013, $664 million of that for the UASI program and other programs that directly affect the U.S. Fire Service. So that funding looks to be down $1 billion in 2013 compared to 2012, but some of the programs that are important to us look to be saved. On June 14th, we're holding our 7th annual Illinois Fire Service Home Day. Our local Congressman Peter Roskam is the keynote speaker. We also have speakers from MABUS. We've got our regional FEMA director. It's just going to be an exciting day. We're expecting over 200 people in attendance, including 14 FEMA and PHMSA member companies. So if you're in the Midwest and you can attend that, reach out to me. We'd love to have you there. You know, I still think of ourselves as a small family business, but technically we're a mid-sized business. And Deloitte Companies has gone and really targeted mid-sized businesses. And they recently published an excellent survey where they went out and they interviewed 528 CEOs from mid-sized businesses. And we've attached a copy of those survey results for you here. Don't print it. It's about 60 pages, but I'll tell you, I would really encourage you to dive through this. What's really interesting is they talk about CEOs having what they call a new realism. So while, and you see that a bit in the financial reports that were coming out in the first half of this year, where businesses are operating better under these new conditions, where they've cut costs and gone after new markets. But what I thought was really interesting in this report is that of all the companies surveyed, the number one obstacle to growth, they say, is government spending, and that's on the federal, state, and municipal levels. So that's been either number 1 or 2 for the last 2 years. So very interesting to see. You know, here at Darley, too, we've also attached for you an article from McKinsey entitled The Executive's Guide to Better Listening. And we at Darley are really trying to embrace what's called emotional intelligence, or EI. And it's really making sure that you're attuned to other people's needs and, aware of your own who you are and how you can interact with others. And this article is really an excellent one. It talks about 3 keys to better listening. Number 1, being a respectful listener. Number 2, keeping quiet, listening 80% of the time and talking 20% of the time, and really being focused in on nonverbal clues. And lastly, challenging assumptions and asking questions, prodding questions, so that you can really get to the root of what's important in those conversations. So I'd encourage you to check that out too. And it's just, in short, I think it's hard for executives, fire chiefs, military people to really be good listeners naturally. But by embracing some of these concepts, I'm sure you'll find yourself to make better decisions and more informed decisions. And we at Darley are going to continue to listen to you. So thanks for tuning in to this issue of Inside Darley. If there's anything we can be doing to support you, we hope you'll reach out to us.